Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Edit that out, okay? Edit it out. Edit it out. I'm talking to you, sis. I just couldn't be bothered. I'm gonna smack you. Because, bitch, are you fucking serious? Let's get into it. Yeah.
Give me love, not enough for you. Day or night, it's alright. You could just pull through, slow wine. Take your time, put in work. I'ma put in work on you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Put in work on you. Ooh, ooh. I'ma put in work on you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Put in work on you. Ooh, ooh. I'ma put in work on you, baby.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if this is your first time with us, welcome to the Love and Light family. I hope you stay for a very, very long time. And if you don't know me, I am Enhle, but everyone calls me Manny or Enhle, and this is my YouTube channel. I'm recovering from a cold, and fun fact that nobody actually asked me for, but I already recorded this YouTube video. The story time that I'm about to do, I recorded it about a week ago, and I was really not happy with just my delivery of the story, as well as like how I looked, how I was feeling. The whole thing was just not working for me. I was so convinced that I was better. I wasn't better. I wasn't better. I've pretty much recovered now. It's just, you know, slight cough and the sniffles because I've chest things like asthma, so I'm susceptible to chest infections. It happens all the time. I feel like aside from like the vlogs and alternative videos that I've made, and maybe for like a couple snippets in my first story time, y'all don't ever really get to see me without makeup. But this is me barefaced because I could not be bothered to put on makeup right now. I think the bottom line of it is just, I want to be able to come as I am to this channel because it's my channel, and I also want people to be able to like just feel comfortable in general. I want to be a little bit more consistent with this channel, and I think you guys know my intentions, but I forced myself to film when I wasn't really feeling it, and I was not happy with the quality of footage that I produced. So I very much decided that that was something I couldn't even bother editing it. So I definitely wasn't going to publish it either. I do feel a lot more comfortable just kind of like dressed down, no makeup, being myself, just hanging out with you guys and like telling you stories like, you know, you're my chomies and we're sitting in a room just like talking stories, like having a good time. Like I appreciate being able to give you guys that energy because I think that's what a lot of people come. I'm talking too fast. Sorry. I think that's what a lot of people come to my channel for, because of like the comfort and the familiarity of just like, I talk to you guys because I know who some of my subscribers are and I know how I would talk to them. So that's kind of the vibes I'm giving, like sleepover, chilling with the girls, kikiing over like gossip kind of thing. That's the kind of energy I'm trying to give you, and I'm not always with a beaten face when I do that with my friends. So welcome to Short Wine and Story Time. So as you guys know, I usually like to put a poll and I let you guys decide what story time I'm gonna do, and I did that on my Instagram. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, here are my Instagram accounts. Girl, you better put them there. Here are my Instagram accounts, and this top one, Mami Enhle, this is the main one. I let you guys do a poll on my Instagram to see what story time you guys wanted to hear, and it was between my ex, who was my first, and basically I talked about how my friends were trying to like link me with the plug, but I've decided to retitle that story because it's more than just about the plug. It's now about Fear Nigerian men. Why am I going with Fear Nigerian men? I'm going with Fear Nigerian men because of Davido.
Bombastic side.
Okay? The whole scandal about him having extramarital affairs and baby mamas coming out the motherfucking wazoo. So that's the story time that we're gonna do today. Y'all know we don't ever freaking do a story time without something to drink. What is in my travel mug? It is Fanta, orange Fanta. I should have drank it out of a clear cup so that it like matched my nails, because my nails are not red. I know they look red, but they're orange because my hair is actually, it looks orange, but it's red. So they're like cousins with the color. It's fucking crazy. However, somebody did bring it up to me that I'm always like, oh, short wine is story time, short wine is story time. I ain't never done a shot on this channel. And them bringing that up to me was like, okay, boo, challenge accepted. So we are here with just some regular Belgravia gin. This is what we're taking a shot of. Nothing special, very, very chill. I'm gonna keep my chase nearby because I already did this shot in the last story time, like when I filmed it. And it was painful because this smells so nice. It tastes like regrets, but I'm pouring the shot in. And this shot glass is a double. But yeah, we never take a shot without cheersing. So shout out to the LGBTQ community, as well as also shout out to my very loyal subscribers, to the people that have been here since the video that I made on mental health during COVID, which was a school project, and then I posted it to this channel and everyone was like, finally, she has a YouTube channel. To the people that are just joining me today, everybody here matters. And yeah, salut. Ooh, I'm trying not to be a little bitch about it because this is my channel and I'm not about to embarrass myself. That's embarrassing. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah. Little disclaimer before we really get into the story time, child, because oh my God. But a little disclaimer. This entire story time takes place in 2020. It was one of the most difficult years of my life. And the reason that I say that is not just because of COVID, but it was also one of the most difficult years of my life because I was struggling in so many aspects of my life. My love life was in shambles because I'd been in, how do I put this? I want to say a one-sided situationship, but let me tell you one thing, I wasn't fucking delusional. I wasn't delusional. I was not delusional. I was not delulu. Like, I was in a one-side situationship that I kind of dragged on for 8 fucking years at that point. It was just a mess because I dated people in that space and he dated people in that space and people hated each other. People were trying to fight each other. Like, it was really, really messy. 2020 was the year that made me look at everything very seriously and realize that I could not continue to perpetuate the cycle where this person gets to mentally and emotionally abuse me. They get to use me whenever they want to. They get to take advantage of my kindness, of my love for them, and use it to boost their ego and use it to make themselves feel good. I didn't want to be a part of that anymore because what was I getting out of it? Every single scenario in which I continued to let this boy walk all over me was making me look like an idiot. So I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. So I was going through that. You can't love somebody through their pain and like love them into loving you. If they're not there, they're not there. And that's okay, sis. You pack your katundis and you walk out of there. I was going through issues with friends at the time. Like, we had a massive fallout at one point in the year. I was struggling. I was in my final year. I was in my final semester. I was writing a thesis. I was going through it and I was making some questionable decisions. I don't condone 90% of the decisions that I made in the story time. But for all intents and purposes, I was healing. I was going through my stuff. I was processing it as best as I could. And that didn't always lead to good decisions. I was also going through a spiritual awakening. And anybody who's ever gone through like a real deal spiritual awakening, like being awakened is difficult. It makes you confront parts of your life that like, God, you didn't even know you were avoiding. So I was going through a lot at the time. In 2020, I became closer with a girl that I already considered a friend. Like, we had some mutual friends, and like, to call us acquaintances doesn't feel like it's enough. We were friendly, but we didn't really run in the same circles until 2020 because this girl was going through her last semester when I was going through my last semester. This one particular girl was absolutely lovely and helped me so much. I'm gonna call her Smirnoff. Yeah, I'm gonna call her Smirnoff. And maybe I'm being problematic by calling her Smirnoff because she's Russian, but vodka for the body, okay? Vodka for the vodka. But for other people, I don't drink vodka, okay? Vodka makes bad things happen. So I became friends with Smirnoff, and Smirnoff had a friend called Hunters. We're going to call her Hunters. And then they had a third friend called Fireball, right? So Smirnoff was Russian, Hunters was Zimbabwean, and Fireball was from Kyrgyzstan. And the three of them were very close, and they kind of like invited me into the fold. But the nice thing about it was, because they were already such a tight-knit trio, I was always there for like features, cameos. Like, I could decide to go to something if they invited me, or I could also just like decide like I didn't want to go, and nobody would get their feelings hurt. This entire story takes place in September of that year. At the time, yeah, like I told you, I was going through stuff. But I was kind of getting to the other side of it, because June was when it was really bad. But I was like moving and starting to like do things for me, change my life, take care of myself. And I think that's really good. But I was also still making really stupid decisions because we were still in a pandemic. They had like relaxed the restrictions, but not to the point where I pushed it to, okay? This entire story starts with Fireball's birthday, okay? Before we even get into it, I need to disclaim something. I need it to be very clear. I've been accused of being an enabler. They're not wrong, okay? They're not completely wrong, because I wouldn't really call myself an enabler or an instigator for bad behavior or trouble or fuckery or nonsense. I wouldn't really call myself that, but I know a lot of other people might want to call me that and say, hey, you instigate. But I'm never going to be the person that's like forcing you to do things. If you want to do something, and I don't think, okay, let me put it this way. I'm friends with grown-ass women who know how to make decisions for themselves as adults. Don't hold me accountable for choices that you make. If you want to take that extra shot, or text your ex while you're drunk, or make out with a guy that you shouldn't be making out with, unless your life is in danger, I will warn you once and then I'm going to leave you to do your thing, okay? Well, if your life is in danger, I will physically intervene. And if it means you hate me and I have to physically hold you back, then yeah, I will fucking intervene. But if you're going to go and do stupid, dumb shit that all girls kind of do you get what I mean? Like, I'm not going to stop you. Because you're a grown-ass woman. You can make your own decisions. You can come to your own conclusions. And I expect you, when you're making these grown-ass women decisions, to know that there are grown-ass women consequences that come with them. It's that simple. Because you have to deal with those consequences, not me. And if you turn around and do a 180 because you don't like the decisions that you made for yourself, and you turn around to me and you're like, why didn't you stop me? I'll slap you silly. I'm not a woman that likes repeating herself, yeah? Guys, it's hot, eh? I think it was the shot. And then people are like, why are you getting so pissy? Because I don't like repeating myself. So if I already told you, Habibti, this is not a good idea. I promise you, this is not a good idea. And you're like, no, it'll be fine. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to let you do it. If you come back to me and you're like, why did you let me do it? I'm going to smack you. Because, bitch, are you fucking serious? Fireball's birthday party. That's where it all fucking started. This is where this entire night and the fuckery that ensued starts. So sweet baby Fireball was like, this is September of 2020. Gang, Virgo gang. I'm not a Virgo, but I know some Virgos. There are some great Virgos in the world. Love those Virgos. They're wonderful. She was having a gathering for her birthday party, and she invited me, and I was like, okay, vibes, I'm in. The birthday party of it all was on payday for me. So I went to work, got my money, did a little bit of shopping, went home, beat my face. I was looking good. Do you understand me? I was looking fire. The girls were sitting nice. The face was so beat. I looked so good. I looked beautiful. And so the nice thing about Usisi's house was she lived very close to me. Got there and Fireball is there. Like, this girl had such a nice spread. Table, a drink. She had everything. she had everybody chilling on that table, okay? But the thing with Fireball is Fireball likes dark liquor. Me and dark liquor don't get along. Do you understand me? Me and dark liquor don't get along. We were never meant to be around each other. We were never meant to be around each other. The closest I get to dark liquor is tequila gold, okay? And I'll have bourbon every once in a while. As far as like fucking cognac, Jesus, please. Whiskey, oh my God, no. You guys like my tattoo? Anyway, she also like, if it were my party, like she had food, okay? And I'm not talking like half means and samosas and spring rolls. Like she cooked. There was yams, there was rice, there was salad, there was pasta. She made so much food. I was astonished that she had all this effort to do all of this on her birthday. So we're all chilling, having a good time. Fireball's other friends came over and like, some of them were cool, some of them were actually really nice. Some of them were not girls. For you to be a true elevated woman, you get to a point in your life where you realize how many things are like patriarchal or like misogynistic that are ingrained into our DNA as women, and how many things we're programmed to care about, to do, to think, to feel, because at the end of the day, what is the goal? Male approval. I can't live like that anymore, okay? I could care less about male approval because it's fickle and it changes every day. Like, you can be skinny and pretty and men will still take you for idiot. Amber Rose got cheated on. Beyonce got cheated on. Gabrielle Union got cheated on. Nia Long got cheated on. So it really doesn't matter to these niggas. And once you realize that and you start just doing things purely for your own happiness and your own enjoyment, life gets so much easier. And you also become a girl's girl. What's a girl's girl? A girl's girl is the kind of girl that has other women's backs, that she's the kind of girl you can approach when you're in trouble and you know that she's got your back and you know she's going to take care of you. I wasn't always, but I definitely am now. I'm definitely a girl's girl. And some of those girls were not girls. Then we kind of like, you know, the night is progressing. We're listening to music, you know, we're drinking. We've had something to eat. Everything is good. Everything is good. Everything is nice. Né? Then Fireball was cohabiting with her boyfriend at the time. I knew her boyfriend. How did I know her boyfriend? Her boyfriend was what some might call an alternative pharmaceutical sales representative. And I'd bought party favors from him before. I had friends that bought party favors from him before. I didn't know him outside of his pharmaceutical sales representation. I didn't know him like that. And then I think maybe the day before or like that afternoon before I got there, that's when I found out that that was her boyfriend. And I was like, oh, okay, vibes. So he came over and he came with one of his friends. I didn't take note of this friend, but he came with one of his friends because they were living together. So he came home and with him, he had like my bags in my like bottles. He had bottles of Prosecco in like plastic bags and stuff. And as he gets there, kisses his girlfriend and everything, starts giving a bottle of Prosecco to every single girl there. All of us, we all got a bottle of Prosecco. It's a real life party favor. Like a thank you for coming to this party. Not the kind of party favors that he usually deals with. But yeah, so he comes, he gives us all bottles, you know, it's Kim 90 vibes, we're listening to music, we're having a good time. When he came home, he then went to go and talk to his girlfriend in the bedroom for a little bit. He comes and he sits down and he looks at her and he's like, can you make me a plate? For me to see this nigga be like, can you fix me a plate? First of all, the legs that you walked in on, do they not work? The arms that you used to hand out fucking bottles to every single jide in the fucking party. Anti-jide, bro, I just showed my age. I didn't even say date. I literally said jide. Lord, intervene. Anyway, but you've been handing out bottles to every other girl in the fucking party. You know, obvious as party favors. But your arms and your legs work. It's her birthday. Let her sit down and talk to her friends and have a good time. Yes, okay, fixing your plate is going to take 2 minutes. So why don't you do it? And I get that, like, it's different when you're in a relationship. I understand more so now because I'm in my first, like, real life, honest to God, adult relationship. It's crazy. I know, like, for your partner, you'll do. But something didn't sit right with me about her having to do it in front of her friends on her birthday. There was something about that just didn't sit right with me. And, like, that entire part is not even really relevant to the story, but also, her boyfriend, we're going to call him Magetsi. Anjiga, we're going to call him Magetsi. And the thing with Magetsi is, he's Nigerian. Quite frankly, I like Nigerians, but fear Nigerian men. So she fixes him a plate, gives him food. The homie that he was handing out bottles with, that friend left. Yeah? So he's sitting, he's eating his plate, and then he tells his girlfriend, so-and-so is coming over. So in my mind, I'm thinking it's another young homie, right? This whole gathering, the food, the listening to music, the whole situation was prees. It was prees. I don't know what to tell you, but it was prees. He's like, oh yeah, so-and-so is coming over. And I wasn't really paying attention. And so she's like, okay. So she unlocks the door and we hear the door buzzer go off. We hear somebody coming upstairs. Door opens. When I tell you, hey, the door opens and it's an uncle. Like, I'm in a room and I'm probably like the third, fourth oldest person in that room before the uncle walks in. Yeah. And at that stage, I was 23 and I was still one of the oldest people in the fucking room. Okay. And then in walks this man who is pushing for 40. Pushing for 40, just by the looks of him. And the fact that he was black, he could have been 106 and I wouldn't know, because you know black don't crack. Like, he was old. He was old. I don't know what you want me to say. He was old. And he walks in and I didn't think much. I was like, oh, this was probably Magetsi's uncle. Because you know how sometimes when people move to foreign countries, they've got like family members that are there, rallies, family, friends, whatever the vibes are. So that's what I thought it was. And then he's like, oh, yeah, guys, this is my friend. And I'm like, it's your friend. It's your grandfriend. He old as shit, bruv. That was fucking rude. I know it was rude. I'm sorry. But he was old as hell. He was old. He was old. So he walks around the room, introduces himself to all the girls, introduces himself to me as well, and is wanting to hug me, but I was like, no, it's a handshake. Because also among the girls, I was the only black woman there. I was the only black woman there. I was the only black woman there. But it didn't make me uncomfortable because I was in Eastern Europe, and being the only black woman in a room is something you get used to in your first 6 months being there, because these people are really, like, in some of the spaces that you'll find yourself in, like, there were even classes in university where I was the only black woman there. He's sitting, obviously, next to Magetsi. The uncle is sitting next to Magetsi. I look up at some point and, like, he's staring at me. And I'm like, okay. So I just tried to ignore it. So at some point I get up, I go to the bathroom, handle my business in the bathroom, come out, finish my drink, and then go to the drinks table to like sort out another beverage for myself. And the uncle takes this opportunity to stand up and come and like have a word with me. What are you doing here? How old are you? Blah, blah, blah. Just like general questions. And I'm just like entertaining it because I'm trying to be polite and get this conversation over for as quickly as it takes me to pour my drink, right? And then he's like, where are you from? I was like, I'm Zimbabwean. And he was like, oh, vibes. You're from down south. I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm from Nigeria. He's like, oh, I'm from Nigeria. I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. Then he's like, do you know Nigerians? I was like, yeah, I know a couple of Nigerians. Then he's like, oh, that's nice. Are you dating any of them? No, I'm not actually looking to date anyone right now. Anyway, I'm gonna go back and sit with the girls. You have yourself a good night. So I go and sit with the girls. Some of the girls are smokers, so they wanted to go outside. I didn't want to be left inside with these niggas, so I was like, okay, let's go. So we all go outside as the girls, and then Fireball comes to me and she's like, oh, I saw you. She's like, oh, I saw you talking to this guy. Like, what's the vibes? I'm like, no. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Like, I'm not gonna. She's like, what, are you not interested? I was like, he's not my type. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, he's a little. I tried to be polite, but also I had been. So I was like, he's too old for me, sis. Like, I'm asking Fireball, I'm like, is the uncle related to Magetsi? And she's like, no, they're not related. The uncle works for Magetsi. This nigga is younger than you. Magetsi is younger than the uncle. But the uncle is roadman for Magetsi. The uncle is a youth. He's a youth. To Magetsi. I was like, bombastic. Pushing 40 and you're still a party favor runner. Like, you don't even... I don't even know if you do chop and distribution or if they give it to you to go and give to other people. So at one point, Hunters was like, man, I got too lit off the stuff that was at the table. I want to go home because I don't think I'll be able to make it to the club. So we're like, okay, sis, if that's how you feel, it's calm. So she gets in a cab and she goes. The rest of us get into cabs and we go to this particular club that's in this particular spot that's very, very popular for nightclubs, partying, and general fuckery. And this club, this infamous club, is named after a color. If you live in Budapest, you know which club I'm talking about. It's that simple. It's named after a color, so you know which one it is. So we went to that club and we got carded at the door. Why am I happy? Because even like, listen, I would love to sit here and lie to you guys and be like, I didn't underage party. Well, 17 was a fun time, okay? 17 was a good time. And I got in with some very interesting friends that were, some of them were a year older than me, so they were legally allowed to be in the club. And if I'm with them and the bouncers know that they're 18, they're just gonna assume. Also, as I like to point out, at every chance that I get, I'm 5'10", okay? By the time I was like 17, 18, I was probably 5'8", 5'9". So I've always been pretty tall for a woman my age, right? So, yeah. I being carded, I've never been carded here. It's never happened, not even once. But to get carded at that place, I was like, so you think I'm young? And at the time I was 23, so I was like, oh, okay. So we get carded, he checks our IDs, he lets us in. Magets had reserved 2 tables. One for him and his friends, and then one for Fireball and her friends, us, right? So he had gotten us into the cab, but he had stayed behind for a little bit because there was some stuff that he needed to handle and sort out. So we get there, we tell them the reservation name, they let us in after we get carded and everything. And he told us to wait to order our drinks until he got there. So eventually he shows up, he's with the uncle. I'm just like, okay. Then we get bottle service because he ordered bottle service. What bottle did this nigga order? Take a while to fucking guess. When I tell you brown liquor doesn't agree with me, what do you think he ordered? Why would he order Hennessy? I've never, not in the entirety of my life, had a night that was that involved Hennessy, that from start to finish was good. Never. It's never fucking happened. It's not happened. I don't drink Hennessy. I don't like Hennessy. Because Hennessy, I know everybody says anything is possible. Those anythings are bad things. They are bad things. They are bad things. So he gets Hennessy, and at this stage, I'm already lit, right? I wasn't drunk, but I was definitely buzzed. Borderline tipsy. So I was like, nobody even cares that it's fine. Hennessy, we're just gonna drink it. So all the boys then arrive at the boys' table. the girls at the girls' table, and these tables are next to each other. And there was this one guy. For a disclaimer, because I'm about to expose things about myself and my life and the decisions I made that night, know that I was single. Anyway, I didn't have a man then. I was very single. I was very, very single. And at the boys' table was this tall drink of water. Lord. And as far as the guys that I'm attracted to are concerned, I like men that are taller than me. Because I require it, okay? I've done my service for the short kings. I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't have to. So it's this really gorgeous, tall South Korean guy. He was so cute. He was so cute, okay? And I know some girls are attracted to Asian men because of like this whole K-pop thing. Just so you know, it wasn't a fetish thing. It wasn't K-pop. I'm not a K-pop stan at all. I genuinely just found him attractive. I thought he was the cutest guy at that fucking table. Say what I said. And so the girls go outside because they want to smoke. He followed because he wanted to smoke. You know, then him and I get to talking, and, you know, he's asking me where I'm from, what I'm doing in the country, you know, am I enjoying the night? Do I like the club? And I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying the night. I'm having a good time. I like this club because, like, they play Afro beats and they play hip-hop, like current hip-hop. Because the other clubs in Budapest that are like, oh, we have a hip-hop night, we're playing hip-hop, they're playing songs from 2001. They're playing Yeah by Asha, and they're playing Y'all Gonna Make Me Lose My Mind, Up in Here, Up in Here, on repeat 11 times. And yes, I am gonna goddamn lose my fucking mind. Shit, man.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal.
It's not even that deep. Those guys were playing like good music, like really good music. So I was like, yeah, I know that they usually start playing the Afro beats like later on in the night. I can't wait till they do that. And he's like, oh yeah, you know how to dance? And I was like, baby, I'm African. Of course I know how to dance. Fully knowing that some Africans don't know how to dance. We're just gonna keep that between us. But he was like, oh, okay, fine. So I want to see what moves you have. So I'll definitely be joining you on the dance floor. So he leaves the smoking area and is about to go like inside back into the club. And by the door, I see him start talking to the uncle, and I didn't pay any attention to it. Went back to talking to the girls. When I went inside, like, you know, they're playing some good hip-hop music. The girls are wanting to dance. We get on the dance floor. I'm dancing, doing my thing. And I'm wanting to make eye contact with this fine man. We'll call him Marco. I wanted to make eye contact with Marco because I wanted to be like, look at me move. Watch me twirl, daddy.
Daddy, watch me twirl. Daddy.
And I noticed like he wasn't really looking at me. And then, you know, the song ended, girls started coming back to the table. He gets up and goes to the bathroom. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, just now he was talking about, yeah, show me your moves. Now I'm doing the moves. Do you want to see the moves? My nigga, what do you mean? So at some stage, I saw him go back outside to go smoke. So I refilled my drink and I followed him because I wanted to get to the bottom of why he was acting so weird. Because I was like, you were feeling me 2 seconds ago. You don't have a reason to suddenly have changed your mind. I still look pink and I smell delicious. So what is it? What is it? So I followed him outside and I was like, hi. And he's like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, it's going good. The music's starting to get good. I'm hoping you're going to join me sooner or later. And he's like, I want to, but I want to stay out of trouble. So I laughed and I was like, lol, what trouble are you worried about? And he's like, the one that's standing in front of me talking about me. And I was like, me? What trouble can I get you into? He's like, I don't really like to vibe with girls that have boyfriends. And I'm like, girls that have what? At this stage, I'm thinking, am I this drunk? I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, your boyfriend. And I was like, who are you talking about? He was like, the uncle. And I was like, what do you mean, the uncle? And he's like, yeah. When I came inside from the smoking area, he kind of like told me not to get too cozy with you because you're his girlfriend. And I was like, I'm not that man's girlfriend. I'm not that man's girlfriend. I met him today. We've had one conversation in which I made it clear I wasn't interested in him. You can ask the girls at the table, you can ask anybody that was at that house, I don't know this man. And he was like, oh, word. And I was like, yeah. And if he was my boyfriend, don't you think I would be walking around with him right now and not out here talking to you? Like I'm in the vicinity with my boyfriend, but I'm flirting with somebody else when he's right there. If I'm going to cheat, I'm going to be smarter than that. Cheating is, look at me. Look at me. Cheating is wrong. Don't do it. Don't fucking cheat on people. It's not nice. So I was like, if I would be cheating, don't you think I would be smarter about hiding it? And he's like, so you're for sure single? And I was like, yes, 100%. Then he's like, good, because now I can do this. Then he leans down and kisses me, and I'm just like, He was fine, and he was a good kisser too. He was a great kisser. We go inside, we have some drinks, we chill, we chat it up. And then he's like, oh, I've got to go. I've got a flight, and I haven't even packed, so I've got to go. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It was really nice to meet you. He hugs me, gives me another kiss, and then he dips. And the last kiss before he left happened in front of the uncle. And I didn't plan that. He did. Oh, Marco. Marco is the one who took me and kissed me in front of the uncle. Just to show him that he could. Big ups to the man, them. That was dope. This uncle is then like very upset. And he goes and he talks to Baguettes. And so at some stage, the girls wanted to smoke again. We go outside. Also because it was really hot in the club. So going outside wasn't that hectic. It wasn't that. It was cold, but it was livable because it was September. It wasn't like it was December. So it was livable. Like, we go outside. Some of the boys go with us to smoke. And there was another guy. There was another guy who came up and started chatting me up after Marco left. It's like 2-ish in the night. It's like 2-ish in the morning. So there's still like time for us to be in the club. So he comes and talks to me, and we're just like chatting. I'm gonna call this nigga Jordan because I can remember he had like I don't even know if this is, I'm pretty sure they were Jordans, red, black, and white Jordans, and he was wearing those, and they were really cool. And I think the first thing I said to him was, oh, I really like your shoes. So Jordan is talking to me, and then Magetsi comes to me and he's like, can I have a word with you? And I'm just like, about what? He kind of took me aside, like took me away from Jordan, and he's like, the uncle is really upset because he feels like you're disrespecting him. And so I laughed and I was like, disrespecting him how? And he's like, yeah, the whole kiss with Marco, he didn't like that. And I was like, okay, and then he was like, yeah, it's just a bit weird for him to see a girl that he likes, like, cutting it up with his friends. And I'm like, I don't even know, like, a polite way to say this, but I don't care. Ooh, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't give a single fuck. I've searched high and low and everywhere we go, and I have not found a single fucking fuck to give. I don't care. But I was like, I don't care that it's upset him. He's not my boyfriend. And the fact that he went and told Marco this is fucking weird. I'm not interested. And I'm even less interested now, if that's actually possible. And then he was just like, okay, I get it now. And I was just like, okay, then go tell him that. The fuck? Why are you telling me you get it? Go tell this man. Go tell your friend. You fucking standing here. I know. I get it now. Go over there and get it over there. Take it and take it over there. Fuck's sake. From there, I'm like chatting with Marco, and like, as now it's getting late in the night, so they're playing the Afro beats. We go in. If you want to make it ginger, make it kokora. But we're having a good fucking time. We're cutting it up. We're having a lot of fun. And I'm dancing with Jordan. Okay. And the thing with Afro beats is, oh, I don't know why I'm like this. The thing with Afro beats is there's only so many dance moves you can do before you throw it in rotation. And you know what I'm talking about, throwing in rotation. I can't help it. Big butty gal. So I threw that ass in rotation and he wanted to catch it. So we started bumping and grinding and having a good time. And as Sam said, for me, once my legs get tired from like whining and doing all of the shit, I need to turn around because I can't breathe and I'm tired. Next thing I knew, I lipped the dude. I don't know what to tell you. I was single, guys. I was single. I was going through it, and I'd been drinking Hennessy. Okay? It was bound to happen. Oh, I mentioned Jordan's Nigerian, right?
Oh my God!
So at some point we go outside because like the club is starting to shut down now, and we want to leave before like everybody else is like just pouring out of the street, and it's like full and stressful, and it attracts attention from people who are not supposed to know that we are coming out of a club at 4 in the fucking morning because it's fucking illegal. I don't know why I was making these decisions, but anyway. Vadi for the Body had been flirting with this one guy the whole night. And she had mentioned that she, you know, was kind of feeling him like that. And I was like, okay, vibes, sis. If you're safe and you're sure, do what you gotta do. She was like, no, I'm safe and I'm sure because we're going to my house and I'm gonna kick him out when I'm done. And I was like, that's my girl. That's a motherfucking city girl right there. So she left with him, and I was like, please text me when you're home. Text me that you're safe. Like, I just want to know that you're okay. Because the guy that she left with was also Nigerian. So Mageti was like, I want to go home. Me and my babes, we want to cut, right? The uncle had left earlier. I didn't even care. I didn't say bye. I literally, like, when he was talking to his boys about leaving and I saw them doing their little dap each other up thing, I got up and went to the bathroom because I was like, I don't want him to try anything. I was praying to myself in the toilet while the uncle was leaving. I was like, Jesus, please don't let this nigga wait for me so that he can say bye to me individually. I beg, I'm not interested. Vadi for the Body / Smirnoff left with the uncle that she had been vibesing with the whole night. Magetsi and Fireball left together. And then at some stage while we were dancing in the club, Jordan leans down and says to me, I want to take you home.
Wool up.
Listen, if I were still single, I would still very much condone and co-sign. Listen, lips whoever you want in the club, okay? Maybe not during a pandemic, which is spread by human contact and air. But lips whoever you want to lips. Lip-sync people, for me, I don't know, it's just not that deep. It's just not that deep, okay? Like, in my heyday, at the height of being a motherfucking city girl, it wasn't a night until you lipped someone. Nobody ever said I was a saint in my party girl era. I was a motherfucking city girl, do you understand me? And I'm very okay with like, well, I was, when I was single, very okay with like lip sync people. However, this whole let's go home thing, I just met you. Be so fucking for real. Be so for real. And I'm not judging anyone because my friend literally left and did that same night. And I'm not judging anybody. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't do it for myself personally. I'm just not that kind of girl. I can't. I don't trust men like that. So it's a bit brazy. It's a bit hectic. He's like, oh, I want to go home with you. So after everybody else left, he was like, do you want to come back to mine? I was like, nah. And I used the lie that has gotten me out of that used to get me out of everything. Okay. I used the lie that used to get me out of everything. I've got work in the morning, so I can't leave from your house. And he was like, oh, okay, let me call you a Bolt. And I was like, nah, it's all good. I'll walk because I lived like 10 minutes away from that club, so it wasn't a problem. Also, I wanted to get food. So, yeah. And he was like, no, I'll go get food with you. So there was this pizza joint. I got a pizza. He paid for it, okay? And it was sweet. It was nice, but it's not the first time somebody's bought me pizza. And that's a piece of advice I want to give the girlies. If you're dealing with somebody that wants to spoil you, I'm not saying don't show gratitude. Show gratitude. Do it. But do it to a limit. Don't be out here being hysterical when people do shit for you. Because especially with that other gender, the gender that's not this one, okay? The gender that's not this one and not the one where they don't really have a gender. That other one, no. Those ones, the minute that they see that you're excited because they're putting you onto a life that you don't really know, they're going to use that to manipulate you. So show gratitude. But even if you've never been spoiled before, yes, you have. Yes, you have. Yes, the fuck you have. You better not be out here simping over niggas buying you pizza. Get so serious. Whew. He's asking me, oh, how is the end of your course going? You know, how's your thesis going? How's this? How's that? How's this? How's that? And I'm like, it's going well, you know, just like having general conversation. And so I asked him, like, do you live here? Like, do you live in Budapest? And he was like, no, I don't. And I was like, oh, serious? Where do you live? And he's like, I live in Vienna. And I was like, oh, so what are you doing down here? And he was like, oh, well, I needed to get away from, you know, the ball and chain, and I needed to get away from daddy duties. I was like, no, I can't have heard that right. Like, so I was like, daddy duties, what do you mean? And he was like, oh, I've got a kid. What do you mean you've got it? Like, what do you mean you've got a kid? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you've got a kid? I was like, you've got a kid? And he's like, yeah. So far it's just one, but there's another edition coming. And I was like, what do you mean there's another edition coming? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm married. My wife is pregnant. And guys, by the time I was walking home, I was drunk, okay? And not even just drunk. Like, I was drunk. Like, I don't want to say shit-faced, because I could still walk and talk. I still knew where I was. I still had my mental faculties about me. But I was drunk, okay? I was drunk. And that, like, when he said that, I sobered up completely. It was like being hit with a ton of bricks. It was. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? First of all, let's not even address the elephant in the room just yet. You've got daddy making dick, and you wanted to put that inside of me. No. I don't want anything to do with impregnation. Do you understand me? I don't want anything to do with that. But in my mind, I'm still a baby. I can't have a baby. And at the time I was 23. So I was even younger than I am now. So imagine how I felt about it then. You've got daddy making dick. No, keep it away from me. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want anything to do with your children, because I'm not in a position in my life to be a stepmother. I was not in the position in my life to be a stepmother. I was like, no. And on top of that, you're married. You have whole wife, but you're in the club catching wine and lip-syncing me. So I stopped dead in my tracks. I was like, you're married? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, we've been dancing, lip-syncing each other the whole night. You're walking me home right now, big dog. What do you mean? And he was like, it's not a big deal. It's my marriage, not yours. Girl. It was like, it's my marriage, not yours. And he didn't even miss a beat. So he had these responses on deck. He had these responses on deck, on standby even. Where does she think you are? She's like, and he's like, yeah, she knows I'm in Budapest. She knows I'm here, but she thinks I'm here for like a stag do. But I was just here because I needed a break from her. And I was like, how far along is she? And he's like, oh yeah, she's like 6-7 months along, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, are you guys like separated, or, you know, what's the situation? And he's like, no, we're still married. And I'm like, so what the fuck? Like, why are you cheating on her? He's like, I wouldn't call it that. Yeah, it's not even that deep. It was just a kiss. It was just a couple kisses. It's nothing. It's not that serious. I was like, my nigga, you were trying to take me home with you. Had I consented, even then, you're walking me home in the hopes that we'll get to my door and I'll change my mind and let you come upstairs. And then come upstairs. That's funny. I'm sorry. That's funny. No. Because don't tell me, yeah, it's not that deep. And so I said to him, weren't you asking to take me home? Like, asking me to come with you to your house. So what did you think we were going to do there? And then he laughs. Like, it's not even that deep, not even that serious. And he's like, yeah, I suppose you're right. He laughs like it's not even that serious. And I'm just standing there, dumbfounded. I asked him, I was like, okay, so why are you cheating on your wife though? Like, why are you out here doing all of this like extra ass shit? And he's like, married life can get just like very stressful and very suffocating. And sometimes a man needs release. And I'm like, so why did you marry her if you felt like you still wanted to sow your wild oats? And then he laughs and he's like, come on, you know. And I'm like, what do you mean I know? And he's like, do you have a lot of African friends? I was like, yeah. He's like, do you know African, like, are you friends with like African men here? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And he's like, have you noticed that a lot of them date white women when they get to Europe? And I'm like, yeah, and they get excited because, you know, it's this exotic man and they've heard the rumors about black men and all of the stuff. So to me, that's just what they do, right? But he was like, no, it goes deeper than that. Like for some of them, yes, it's just experimenting with a different race. But for some of them, they know that this is the only way that they can officially leave their country and leave their country for good. You date a white girl, you get her pregnant, you marry her, and then you get a Schengen visa. Because you get, it's like getting a green card when you're in America. And I was like, so is that why you married her? And he was like, no, I do love her though. And I was like, but if you loved her, why would you be doing all of this? Why would you be doing all of this? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't fucking understand it. And he was like, yeah, well, when you grow up and you get married yourself, you'll learn that it's complicated. And I was like, if this is what marriage looks like, y'all can keep that mess. I don't want it. If this is what it's going to look like, that's for y'all. That's not for me. Stage, I really wanted to curse him the fuck out and tell him where he could get off and tell him to go die. But it's hard enough walking in broad daylight in the street in other people without getting harassed and bothered. I didn't want to think of what he would do if I told him how I really felt about the situation that he was in, and not just that, but the one that he put me in, because it's now giving homewrecker. A married man, come on. I wouldn't have done that if I had known. I was really just out there trying to live my best Kim Nandi life, get a free pizza and walk home. Like, I wasn't even trying to get mixed up in anybody's marital affairs. So this guy, I let this guy walk me to maybe about a block before my house. And then I was like, oh, I live right around here. It's perfectly fine and safe. And he's like, oh, I just want to make sure you get upstairs safe. So like, let me come with you. Let me like take you upstairs safe. The other thing is I didn't want him to know exactly where I lived. So I just kind of stopped at a vague area. Like I stopped outside a Starbucks so he wouldn't know. Yeah, we stop outside and then he's like, yeah, I had a really good time with you. I'd love to take you out sometime. And I was like, we'll have to see. You know, I get really busy. I don't have a lot of time off of work. Then he was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm still here for a couple of weeks, so let's see how it goes. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, can I get your number? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know my Hungarian number off by heart and my phone is dead. Meanwhile, my phone is alive. So he's like, oh, okay, no problem. And then he leans in and tries to kiss me. So I turned my head and just hugged him because I was like, stop it. Look at me. Stop it. I ate my pizza, went to bed. I'm not thinking about it. The next day, people are now posting pictures. Do you know what I mean? Like on their stories to be like, oh, happy birthday, Fireball. Yeah, GGG had such a good night with you, blah, blah, blah. There were a couple of pictures that some people had posted that I was tagged in. Next thing you know, and my account is always public because hating ass bitches will screenshot whatever. Even if your account is private, it's not hard for people to find what they want to find about you from your Instagram. It's not hard. It's actually very easy. I get a follow from an account that I don't really know that well, and I've never seen. And so I open it and the first picture is this man. It's Jordan. And I'm like,
No! God, please, no! No!
okay.
No!
So
No!
I just kind of left it at he follows me because I was like, I'm not about to follow him back. And then his wife is now like, hey, why do you have a new follower? Who is this bitch? And then does blood magic on me. His wife was white, but I don't know what she's into, okay? I don't know what she's into. It took like 2 or 3 days before he messaged me, and the screenshot is here. So he messaged me on like the Sunday. I replied on the Tuesday. He was like, hey, or something. I'm sorry, I can't see the screenshot right now, obviously, but you can read it right here. And I'm like, Sia. Sia is basically hi in Hungarian. So he's like, Sia. So I'm like, Sia. And he's like, hey, my crush. And I'm like, why isn't your crush should be your wife, sir? He didn't like that. He did not like that. He blocked me.
Ergens maar blok. Arfaya? Blok al Facebook, blok al WhatsApp, blok ke telefonet, Blokken Instagram, blokken. After block.
He blocked me so quickly. And I was just like, oh no. Good. It must be insufferable out here for you niggas. Y'all must hate it over here. Go back to Vienna and go back to your wife. Fuck out of my DMs, bruh. I remember I screenshotted this to send to my girl to be like 91 year old. And it did it there for Jordan. However, the uncle wasn't done. Okay? So I was still getting party favors from my kids. And on the one day, I'm chilling in my room, minding my own business. It's probably like 2 a.m. My gets calls me. He tried to call me, and I watched the phone ring because I was like, what?
I said, damn, bitch.
What are you doing? Why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? I watched it ring. He texts me. He's like, hey. So I waited a couple minutes, then I replied. I was like, hi, what's up? Tried to call me again. I was like, now's not a good time. What's up? I hung up the second time. I was like, now's not a good time. What's up? He's like, I'm downstairs. I'm like, why are you downstairs? I didn't call for anything today. And he was like, yeah, I'm here with the uncle. He really wants to see you. He wants to make you his girlfriend. And I'm like, what Nimageti? I told you where I stand with this guy. So I must now get out of bed, take my bonnet off, get dressed appropriately, come downstairs so I can tell your friend to his face that I'm not interested in him. What if he gets mad and starts beating the fuck out of me? Then what? Because I can guarantee you, oh, my guess is not going to defend me. But I was like, that's a bit weird because like, why would you show up uninvited? And I lied and I was like, I've got work tomorrow. I was like, I've got work tomorrow. I can't do this. Come on now, my gets. I don't have time for this. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe another time. Then the next time that I tried to cop from my gets, yeah, does he not send the uncle? And like, the uncle's like, oh, you've been trying to dodge me. You've been trying to run away from me. But I'll always be here for you, fine girl, fine girl. And I'm just like, oh God, sweet Jesus, please. So I would, whenever he would come to drop off, because he's got to drop off inside the apartment. He can't do it outside because we don't know who's watching. It would always happen in the kitchen. I never let him into my room, not even for a second, because I was like, if he sees a bed and my underwear over there with my clothes hanging, he will steal my underwears. And I don't need to deal with that. I don't need to deal with people doing blood magic or whatever kind of magic. I don't need people trying to do love potion on panties. No! So I would always meet him in the kitchen. And on days where he was particularly annoying me, I would pretend to have a phone call when he was coming upstairs. Because he would message me and be like, I'm here, baby. And I'm like, who the fuck is your fucking baby here, bruv? It's not fucking me. Pretending like there's people waiting for me, so he needs to be fast and he needs to dip. And he was relentless. Even when I made up a fake boyfriend, he wouldn't leave me alone. Like, he would text me and be like, good morning, sweetheart. And I'm like, be fucking for real. So I couldn't take it anymore. And I think after like all the rejection, he was starting to get moody. So he would on purpose like show up really, really late whenever I would call him. He would give me like shitty buds. He would give me too little. It was just becoming such a problem. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. I'm actually just going to ask a friend for a new plug. Because I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't be bothered. And ain't nobody got no time for that shit. Ain't nobody got no motherfucking time for none of that shit. So I think I kind of just left it at that. And yeah, that was the end. Guys, that is the story. One of the stories as to why I fear Nigerian men, guys. What did Kanye Bao say?
Man will leave you in the desert without water. Yeah.
Exactly. Without a drop of freaking water, you will suffer in the desert by yourself. And that's not a life I want to live. So yeah, be very careful. Y'all be careful out there, okay? I'm not in the streets anymore and very happy that way. Yeah, y'all be careful out there, I guess. And just for good measure, I'm going to pour a shot. And this shot in particular is for Nigerian women. And for women that are dating and are married to Nigerian men, this shot is for your strength, my sisters. And also, thank you for doing God's work so that we don't have. unlike when I previously filmed the story time, I can honestly say I had fun recording this. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed recording this. The nails are Lumo! Y'all know me, I don't play about my Lumo sets. I do sometimes because I'm always into a little bit of black and white. But if I can do a little blue light moment, baby, get into it. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really hope you thoroughly enjoyed this story time. And I hope you'll join me again for the next one. And if you haven't already done it, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so that you know every time I get my shit together and post. Thank you guys so much. I absolutely love and adore each and every one of you. Stay hydrated, stay warm, wear sunscreen, don't talk to strangers. That's a lot of rules, but you gotta follow all of them if you want to live long, okay? Love and light, guys. Bye.
I'ma put it